today, friends? Well, I am launching into this project in Houston. Here we go. I just had dinner with my friend Kenn, the director of the show, and met up with Peter, my dear friend Peter, who's the composer of the show. We, first time in real life in 2 years, seeing either of them in real life, which is bizarre, but because it feels like I see them all the time. But there's something I have to say, I'm very, very curious what it's going to feel like to get in a room and make theater again. I haven't done that since before the COVID era. And I've been in touch with people who have, and I've obviously been in various conversations and environments where people are actively making live theater throughout this period. And at the same time, I haven't been there, haven't been in the actual room where it happens, so to speak. And that's exciting. It's exciting to feel that world coming back. In some weird way, I've been talking about this with Katie. In some weird way, it feels like going back in time. And I can't say that it's gonna feel like that tomorrow, but that's just it's been the sense that I've had about reigniting this type of work. And I think, there's a level on which this is kind of the fruition of a project that I've been involved in for a long time. And there's another level on which I guess there's a level on which it's the beginning of something new. It's the beginning of the life of a very important creative project of mine. In the kind of coming out of the COVID era, it's hard to say if we're in the post-COVID era yet, but certainly, I hope, knock on wood, we are exiting the COVID era, and this is the rebirth of this project in that era that is hopefully becoming the post-COVID era. Maybe I'll refer to now. The era that is hopefully becoming the post-COVID era. And there's also, I can't shake the sense that this isn't also maybe the end of a certain era of mine. I can't tell yet. I'm working out what my kind of where this is all going and where my own life is going. Because I was saying on a post a couple days ago, I no longer feel like this kind of work is, in other words, kind of project-based music directing, working on shows. I no longer feel like that's the center of my life. It's still a massive passion of mine. It's still something I love. Getting to come to a new town like this and dive into a project, work with wonderful creative people, and I'm going to meet our cast tomorrow. God only knows what my post tomorrow is going to be like. I'll probably be just like vibrating from the amazing energy that I'm going to be receiving all day long, because we have this incredible cast, these incredible musicians, going to play this awesome score that I've spent the last month and a half of my life just completely with my nose up against. I've seen all the pages in this score dozens of times. I've looked over every page of the score in depth on the most granular level over and over and over and over again. And now I'm going to get in a room and we're going to turn all that into music. We're going to take these 600 pages or whatever we've created or more and turn them into music. Actual sound vibration in a room, played by human bodies and sung by human voices. Wow. It's happening. I love it. And chasing that kind of work, or going, the way that work happens, I'm not convinced that it's the core anymore. I think it may be something that is still part of my life, but there's something else that's even more central to my life, and which I've been exploring over the past couple years, and that has really come into focus over the last year and a half. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for how that has gone, and for how for those various other aspects of myself that I've leaned into and had the opportunity to develop, all the people that I've met along the way who have been part of that journey with me. Some of whom as students, some of whom as friends, thought partners, just kind of creative collaborators without necessarily calling it that. But it's January 3rd. I did my first video post a year ago on January 4th, and here I am, one time around the sun, as they say in Annalise's class. When you have a birthday, they actually have you like get up and they put a little sun in the middle of the floor, and then you walk around the sun to represent that you've traveled around the sun however many times you have. It's very sweet. I've come one time around the sun since starting this video post. And I've created a new core to my life. And I think that that's completely appropriate. I think that, I have literally lying on this table in front of me, I have Chogyam Trungpa's book, True Perception, The Path of Dharma Art. What before I had found this book, was calling creative spirituality. What is the core of my life? And what does that core want to express? Art is an expression of life. Art is an expression of our emotional and or psychological and or spiritual and or physical journey through life. That's what all art is somehow an expression of humanity's relationship to existence on the most kind of broad level. And not that everybody's framing their creativity as necessarily spiritually oriented, but for me, that's the hook. That's what makes me tick. So knowing that is primary just makes me really excited to see what I express next. What's coming from that. As long as and it also gives me the kind of imperative to really take that seriously, to truly acknowledge that is the core for me, and not to get pulled into not get drawn into the expression part so much that I forget what's being expressed, that I forget what the core is, that's what's underlying all of this. Because it's easy to do as a musician or as a theater artist. It's easy for the demands of the expression to become so prominent, to just take up so much bandwidth that we forget what it's all emanating from. And if there's one thing that I have really learned over the last, year, 18 months, it's that when those priorities are in order, when I know what's primary, what's secondary, when I know what's at the top and everything else that's hanging off of that is sort of falling into its proper place, there's just a natural ease. There's a natural ease and a graceful, very organic hierarchy of priorities in my own life. And so as I go into this project now, it's really interesting to me how much that is there. It's almost like I feel like I'm very, very aware of what the larger context is for everything that's happening, in a way that I don't think I ever have been before when I've entered a project. And that's exciting. I don't know what it means. I don't know how it's gonna affect what I do in the room. I don't even know if anybody else on the project is gonna notice. It's possible that they will. It's possible that it'll have a very noticeable effect. It's also possible that that'll just be my own interior experience as I go through the process, and that it won't necessarily be noticeable or visible to anyone else. I don't really need an outcome there. I'm just really excited for the experience of what it feels like to go into the process with this perspective, because I've never done that before. I have in some ways, but never with quite this much presence, quite this much awareness. So that's what I'm looking forward to tomorrow. That's what I'm looking forward to over the next several weeks and months. And as I roll through one more time around the sun tomorrow, and I do my second video post on January 4th. It's amazing to me that that's happening. And I'm so grateful to all of you who watch this post, who listen, who pay attention, who comment or engage or in some way kind of, have let me know that this is important to you, because it's so beautiful to hear that. I had a call yesterday with a very close friend and student, and someone who follows this post. And I did a post a couple days ago, and it was one of those ones where it was like, I don't really know what I'm doing today, and for some reason this is coming out. Look at this. Oh, here it comes. There it came. I don't know what it was. And she said that it was incredibly touching and happened to resonate with her in just the right way. And it was so those experiences just enhance and affirm my trust that something's coming through me. It's important. I need to honor it. And it's not only about me. What's coming through me is not only about me. I mean, if I could take away one summary lesson from this entire year's worth of this practice, it's that in making my interior life public, in making my own interior process very visible, my primary takeaway is my own interior process is neither mine nor is it strictly interior. It's actually something universal happening in consciousness, and because as soon as I express it, it's affirmed and bouncing off. It's bouncing off every wall in the universe to tell me a lot of other people are here too, and it's something very universal that's happening. So thank you, love you, have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow, probably fresh off a 6-hour rehearsal with lots to talk about. So much love. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.